must have been back up. That was back up, I guess, in the other earlier part of that. I don't remember for sure where it was, but it's on the test. This all begins. I guess that's in the other part on reproduction. That's in. Did y'all kind of jot that down? Do you kind of remember that? You kind of remember it? Okay, and then you saw that diagram. If you have a book, it's in your book. But in finishing up this, just kind of making, well, that's just showing each one of those is a blastomere. Y'all know that. That was on the test this morning, the term blastomere. But you do understand how this works, that when the sperm nucleus comes in contact with the secondary oocyte nucleus as it comes in contact, that secondary oocyte completes meiosis, and there's a polar body and the ovum. And then the fusion of the pronuclei forms the what? The zygote. What is the chromosome number in humans? The diploid number. What is the actual number? 46. 23 in the gametes. Okay, so that would be, I just want to emphasize that to you, make sure you kind of have that under control. And also, riding through here, in this thing right here, what takes over production, the chorion. The chorion makes up most of the placenta in the end. Make sure you know that. The chorion. It's called the trophectoderm, made up of the centrophoblast, cytotrophoblast. But anyway, all that becomes the chorion. The main thing you need to remember is the chorion becomes the major part of the placenta. And just make sure you know that. And everybody knows if they say, if they say, well, her waters broke, what membrane broke? What broke? If the waters broke, what's the technical name for the membrane? What is it? Come on, y'all. Starts with an A. Amnion. Amnion. Okay. And that's going to be a key thing right in through there. A key issue, and I think that's on the test about the waters. I think that's on the exam. So waters in quote, you know, the waters broke or water broke. You know, that's the country way of saying it. All right, but anyway, so that is just kind of hang on to that. I think you'll be fine. I don't think there's going to be any big issues on the rest of this stuff right in through here. And now the hormones listen, there's more than one hormone involved in ovulation. What did we emphasize as the key hormone involved in ovulation? What is the key hormone no, ovulation. The key hormone, that's going to be on your test. A key hormone in ovulation, the key one. Remember, go back to that thing on the menstrual cycle. The key hormone in ovulation is LH. There are others that are involved, though. There are other, and the estrogens play a role. There are others involved. But the key hormone, the way I've always said it, and if you look in your book, it'll talk about it. It'll mention others, but the key hormone is the luteinizing hormone involved in ovulation. Okay? So be sure and look at that. Now let me ask you this. What hormones are, this is I think on your test too, what hormones are produced by the Graafian follicle? What hormone group is produced by the Graafian follicle? Starts with an E. No? Follicle stimulating hormones produced by the anterior pituitary. Be sure and go back and look. The estrogens are produced by the Graafian follicle. The corpus luteum produces. What is the corpus luteum anyway? What is that? Where does that come from? How many of you know that? Where does the corpus luteum come from? It comes as a result of what? Ovulation. The corpus luteum comes as a result of ovulation. The corpus luteum, it goes through some stages. Corpus hemorrhagicum, there's a bloody spot. Then there's a corpus luteum, yellow body, yellowish area. And the corpus luteum then produces the progesterone, which maintains the stratum functionalis, the endometrium. Okay. All right. So those things right there, and go back, as I said, go back and look at the other, that menstrual cycle thing with the hormones. Make sure you know the anterior pituitary produces FSH. The target organ of FSH is the ovary, and it causes the follicle to develop. And as the follicle develops, what happens as the follicle develops? It begins to produce the estrogens. And also, make sure you know that estrogen is not one hormone. And people coming into this class, most people don't know that, don't realize that. They say the estrogen hormone, or the estrogen. It's the estrogen. So make sure you understand that sort of stuff. Okay, everybody, now let me ask you this. What is the hormone in the male that corresponds to LH in the female? You know what it's called? In the male, it's actually the same thing, but it's not called the luteinizing hormone in the male, but it's the same thing. It's called the interstitial cell stimulating hormone. Remember the interstitial cell stimulating? And that was on your test this morning. The interstitial cells of Leydig or Leydig. I just say Leydig. Those cells produce the hormone testosterone. And it's the follicle stimulating hormone in the male that is responsible for this spermatogenesis stuff. Business right there. Does anybody have a question over this? And we'll start kind of reviewing a little bit from old material. And I'll also kind of give you some ideas on what to look for on the urinary stuff, unless you have another question. I think that pretty well gets over this pretty good without getting into chromosomal abnormalities and all that sort of business. We get into that. But there are some things in the future as far as looking through amniocentesis, looking at possible chromosomal abnormalities like for Down syndrome and things like that. So there are some things involved with all that. All right, so there you go. There's the hormone. There's a little bit right there. Okay, now then, let me get this little podium up here and get this thing up here, and we'll leave that thing steady, kind of tick along. And I'll give you a little idea on some things for the final that you might kind of be looking at.